Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Speak Smart podcast. We're diving into a really interesting piece of writing today.
Oh, yeah.
It uses this lone wolf metaphor to explore all these ideas about like resilience and self-reliance, and just generally like achieving success, but on your own terms.
It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it?
It really is. And I think it really speaks to a lot of people.
For sure.
Especially today when there's so much pressure to kind of like conform,
Totally.
But one of the things that I find really fascinating is that, wolves are pack animals, right?
Yeah.
So how does this metaphor of the lone wolf actually translate into real life situations?
That's a great question. And the text actually delves into that quite a bit. So one of the things it emphasizes is this idea of sharpening your senses.
Yeah.
But not literally, of course, right?
Right.
It's more about developing your self-awareness and intuition.
So it's like being more in tune with yourself?
Exactly. Like really honing in on that inner compass,
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then from there, the text talks about solitude as a proving ground for resilience.
Okay, so like facing challenges head on.
Yeah. Like without always relying on others,
So you kind of figure out what you're really capable of.
Exactly. You build that self-trust.
But that doesn't mean you have to go through everything alone, right?
No, not at all. In fact, the text is very clear that while there's power in solitude, it's also important to have those meaningful connections.
So finding that balance is key.
Right. It's about being selective with the company you keep.
Mm-hmm.
Surrounding yourself with people who support your growth.
Right. Because I imagine there's some people who might actually hold us back too.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where the text talks about this idea of bad company.
Bad company. Okay, so what does that actually look like?
Well, it can manifest in different ways.
Okay.
It could be people who drain your energy with negativity or people who undermine your confidence.
I've definitely encountered a few of those.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it's even people who, they mean well.
Right.
But they discourage you from pursuing your dreams, maybe because they're afraid for you.
Right. Or they just don't understand.
Exactly.
So like, let's say you have a friend or a family member, someone close to you who is constantly expressing doubts about your goals.
Right.
Even if they have good intentions.
Yeah.
How would you approach that from this lone wolf perspective?
That's a tough one. The text emphasizes setting boundaries.
Okay, so like what would that look like?
Well, sometimes it means distancing yourself from people.
Even if they're close to you?
Yeah, even then. Because ultimately...
It's about protecting your own energy and well-being.
Exactly. Prioritizing your own growth.
So it's not selfish to do that.
Not at all. It's actually essential.
Right. And sometimes that might mean walking alone for a bit.
Yeah, and that's okay. The text really reframes solitude,
Okay, so it's not about being lonely.
It's about choosing to be in your own company, focusing on what matters to you.
Creating that space for yourself to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and that's where that inner strength comes from spending time with yourself, listening to your intuition.
So it's like building that foundation for resilience.
Yes. That unshakable self-belief, like the lone wolf.
I love that.
Yeah, and once you have that inner strength, that's when you start to attract the right people into your life.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like you become a magnet for people who resonate with your energy.
Who support your vision.
Exactly, who get you and where you're going.
So it all starts with that inner work.
It really does, that self-discovery and empowerment.
And then the connections follow naturally.
Yeah, and those connections, they're so much more fulfilling,
Because they're based on authenticity and shared values.
Exactly. Not on needing to fit in or please others.
I think that's a really powerful message, especially for people who are feeling lost or maybe overwhelmed by all the noise out there.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that you have the power to choose your own path.
And to create a life that truly reflects who you are.
Exactly. And, the text doesn't shy away from the fact that the path of the lone wolf can be challenging.
Right. It's not always easy.
There will be obstacles for sure.
But it's through overcoming those challenges that you really build resilience.
Absolutely. The text uses this great analogy.
Okay.
It compares those challenges to like a blacksmith forging a sword.
Okay.
The intense heat and the hammering.
Yeah.
They seem destructive, right? But they're actually shaping the metal
into something stronger and more beautiful.
Exactly. And it's the same with us,
Wow, that's a powerful image.
It is, right. It shows how those tough times, they actually make us who we are.
They forge our character.
Exactly. So it's not about avoiding hardship.
Right.
It's about changing our perspective on it.
seeing it as an opportunity for growth.
Yes. And the text goes on to say that this process of overcoming adversity is what ultimately leads to self-reliance.
Because you realize you can handle anything.
Yeah, you build that inner strength, that belief in yourself.
It's like working a muscle, but for your mind and spirit.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So each challenge you face makes you more resilient, more capable.
Exactly. And that resilience, that ability to bounce back.
It's what keeps you moving forward.
Yeah, even when things get tough.
Even when you're not sure what's next.
You have that inner compass to guide you.
It's amazing how this all connects back to the lone wolf.
It is, right? This idea of trusting your instincts.
Yeah.
Having that unwavering belief in yourself.
Yeah, even when everyone else is doubting you.
Even then. And, that inner strength.
Yeah.
It's not something you're born with.
Okay.
It's something you cultivate.
Through conscious effort.
Yeah, and by embracing those challenges.
Like that blacksmith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pushing through the fire.
This is really insightful.
Oh, thank you.
I think it'll really resonate with our listeners.
I hope so.
Before we move on, I want to ask our listeners a question.
Okay.
Have you ever felt like you were facing something alone? Like a challenge where you had to dig deep and rely on your own strength to get through it?
Those moments can be tough.
They are.
But they're also incredibly transformative, aren't they?
They really are. It's in those moments that you discover what you're truly capable of.
Exactly. You find that inner strength you didn't even know you had.
And that's something to celebrate, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's a testament to the human spirit.
Our resilience, our ability to overcome anything.
And what's really inspiring is that when we go through those challenges and come out stronger on the other side, we can actually inspire others to do the same.
That's the ripple effect.
Exactly. Just by being ourselves, by showing our strength.
We can give others hope.
And that brings us to the next part of our discussion.
Yes, where we'll explore how embracing this lone wolf path can not only lead to personal fulfillment, but also inspire others to step into their own power.
I'm excited to dive into that.
Me too.
So how exactly does someone's lone wolf journey, like you said, inspire other people?
Well, the text suggests that it's not just about achieving success on your own, but it's more about showing others that it's possible to break free from these limiting beliefs, and overcome adversity and just create a life that is truly authentic and fulfilling.
Yeah, it's like showing people they don't have to follow the crowd.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not about encouraging everyone to become a recluse. Or to, completely avoid all connections.
Yeah.
It's more about inspiring them to tap into their own inner strength. And to trust their intuition.
Yeah, to have the courage to walk their own path.
Even if it means being alone for a while.
Exactly. And you know what? That kind of self-reliance, that courage, it can be really contagious.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a ripple effect that spreads outwards.
Yeah, and it empowers other people to start questioning things. To question the status quo and to go after their own dreams.
I love that. And the text also mentions that this ripple effect can start with these small acts of courage.
Oh, yeah.
Like just speaking your truth or setting boundaries or pursuing a passion that maybe other people don't understand.
And those small acts, they can have a huge impact.
Especially when other people are watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially people who are maybe struggling with self-doubt or feeling stuck.
It's like planting a seed of inspiration.
Yes. And with a little bit of nurturing, it can blossom.
I love that analogy.
And, the text emphasizes that.
Yeah.
It's not about bragging about your accomplishments or being a guru.
Right.
It's about just living your truth.
Yeah.
Embodying these principles.
Yeah.
And letting your actions speak for themselves.
So leading by example.
Exactly. Not by telling people what to do, but by showing them.
And there's something about that authenticity that's just so magnetic.
It is, right? It draws people in.
Yeah, because it's real and relatable.
Exactly.
And what's really interesting is the text connects this idea of inspiring others back to finding your tribe. It's like it suggests that as you walk your path with courage and authenticity, you'll naturally attract people who resonate with you.
Right. People who share your values.
It's like you're setting out a signal.
And the right people pick it up.
Yeah. So it's not about conforming to fit in.
No.
It's about letting your true self shine.
Yes. And attracting those who are drawn to that light.
And those connections, the ones that are formed organically, they're the ones that are truly fulfilling.
They are, because they're based on something real, not just on convenience or proximity.
Yeah. And it's like building a community.
Yeah. A community of like-minded individuals.
Who are all striving for something more. Exactly. And those communities, they can be so powerful.
Oh, absolutely. Even if they're small.
Because they provide support and a sense of belonging.
Yeah, and a platform for positive change.
Like it's combining the strength of the individual with the power of the collective.
Yeah. It's that synergy.
Right, exactly. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
You have this group of people who are walking a similar path.
And you can learn from each other and support each other.
I love that. But I also want to acknowledge that this lone wolf journey, it's not always linear.
Oh, right. Of course. It's not a straight line to success.
Yeah, there will be times when you feel lost or uncertain.
Or even tempted to give up.
Yeah, for sure. So how does the text address those moments of doubt?
Well, it acknowledges that the path is rarely smooth sailing.
Right.
There will be storms and detours and times when you just question everything.
So it's not about avoiding those challenges completely.
No, it's about developing the inner strength to weather the storm.
To keep going even when it gets tough.
Exactly. And one of the things the text emphasizes is the importance of staying connected to your purpose.
So like remembering your why.
Yeah. That's your anchor when you're feeling lost.
It helps you stay focused on the bigger picture.
Exactly. And it also talks about self-care.
Okay, so taking care of yourself is crucial.
It is. The lone wolf knows that to be strong, you need to nurture yourself.
Right, to replenish your energy.
Yes, to find that inner peace.
So it's not about pushing yourself to the point of burnout.
No, it's about finding that balance.
Between effort and rest.
Exactly.
And the text also encourages seeking support when you need it.
Oh, yeah. It's okay to ask for help.
Even for a lone wolf.
Even then. Because even the strongest among us need someone to lean on sometimes.
So it could be reaching out to friends or family.
Yeah, or maybe finding a mentor.
Or joining a support group.
Right. There are so many ways to find support.
And that feeling of being understood, it can make a huge difference when you're facing those challenges.
It reminds you that you're not alone in this.
Yeah, that other people have walked a similar path.
And there's strength in those shared experiences.
Absolutely. And, this brings us to another powerful idea from the text.
Okay, what's that?
It's that the journey itself is the reward.
Oh, I love that.
It's such a profound concept.
It is, because it shifts our focus.
Yeah, from the destination to the process.
Yeah, to the growth and the learning that happens along the way.
So it's not just about achieving a specific goal.
Right.
It's about embracing the entire experience.
Yeah, with all its ups and downs.
Exactly. And the text highlights how this can lead to a deeper sense of fulfillment.
Right, because you're not just chasing something external.
Yeah.
You're finding joy in the present moment.
Yeah, and connected with your true self.
It's like realizing that the real treasure is in the journey itself.
I love that analogy. And, it reminds us that the path of the lone wolf, it might be challenging.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately a journey of self-discovery and growth.
And transform.
It's about becoming the best version of ourselves.
Not for anyone else, but for ourselves.
And for the pure joy of living a life that's true to who we are.
Exactly.
It sounds like walking the lone wolf path can really inspire others, to find their own way.
Right.
But how do you actually do that without being, preachy?
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
The text really stresses that it's not about the words you say.
Okay.
It's about your actions.
Like walking the walk.
Exactly. You got to live it,
So it's not about trying to convince people they should be lone wolves too.
No, not
It's more about showing them what's possible.
Yeah, by being a living example.
Through your own choices and actions. And that authenticity is what really makes the message powerful, right?
It is. Because people can spot a fake a mile away.
Totally.
But when you're genuine, when you're truly living in alignment with your values, that resonates with people.
And it inspires them.
Yeah, it gives them permission to do the same.
So it's like you're not just talking about it.
Right.
You're being a beacon.
A beacon of light.
Yeah. Showing others the way.
Exactly. And it all starts in your own little world, with your family and friends,
So being the change you want to see.
Yes. Starting with yourself.
And then it ripples outward.
Exactly. And as you do that, as you become more and more aligned with your true self,
you start attracting those like-minded people.
You become a magnet.
It's like you're sending out this signal.
Yeah. And people who are on the same wavelength, they pick it up.
And those connections, they're the ones that really matter.
They do, because they're built on a foundation of authenticity and shared values.
And that's what creates those powerful communities.
Yeah. Even if they're small.
Because they can achieve so much together.
Right. It's about amplifying that ripple effect.
Combining the strength of the individual with the power of the collective.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. And, something that really stood out to me in the text is that embracing the lone wolf path.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to reject all connection.
Yeah.
It's actually quite the opposite.
It is.
It's about becoming so strong and self-assured that you can then form these deeper, more authentic connections.
Because you're not coming from a place of need.
Yeah.
You're coming from a place of wholeness.
You're complete on your own.
Exactly. So you can choose your connections freely.
Based on genuine resonance.
Not on trying to fill a void.
I love that. It's like the lone wolf understands that true strength.
Yeah.
It's not about pushing people away.
Yeah.
It's about embracing both your individuality and your interconnectedness.
It's that paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're all unique, but we're also all connected.
And finding that balance, that's where the magic happens.
It is. And, it's an ongoing process, this journey of self-discovery.
It's not like you reach a certain point and then you're done.
No, it's a lifelong adventure.
And even when you feel lost or uncertain, you can always come back to that inner compass.
That's your guide.
And it helps you navigate those twists and turns.
And as you walk that path,
you become a beacon for others.
Showing them that it's possible to break free and create a life you love.
It's such a beautiful idea.
It is, right. And ultimately, it's about leaving a legacy of inspiring others to live their truth.
To embrace their uniqueness and to have the courage to walk their own path.
Even if it's a little unconventional.
Even if it means walking alone for a while.
Yeah, because sometimes that's what it takes to find your way.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to ask our listeners one final question.
Okay.
What part of the lone wolf metaphor really speaks to you? And how can you bring that spirit into your own life?
In a way that feels authentic and empowering.
It's a powerful image to hold on to.
It is.
As you navigate your own journey.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration.
It's been an amazing conversation.
It has.
And we're so excited to see where your own paths lead you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the hit button and keep exploring. Thanks for listening to the Speak Smart podcast.